The next couple of videos are going to have a look at esters. In this video you will learn what an ester is, how they're formed and some of the uses, and in the next one you'll go into more detail on soaps and how soaps are produced and how they work. So the key thing to take for an ester is the fact that it is the combination of an alcohol and a carboxylic acid. So I'm going to show you that structure and how that happens now. So the general formula for an ester has got this COO part at the top. Now you'll notice it's slightly different to a carboxylic acid because it hasn't got the H on the end, and the reason for that is because that H is used up in a reaction. So if I have a look at this one here, which is ethanoic acid plus ethanol, what happens when they react together is this part here reacts and water is removed. Now what happens there is this oxygen bonds with this carbon here, and the result is this, which if neatened up will look a little bit like this. So you can see straight away in here I've got this COO group there, and it's taken the carboxylic acid and the alcohol and it's joined them together with water as the byproduct. Now the name for this is ethyl ethanoate, which has got this formula, CH3CO OC2H5. Here is another example. So I'm taking methanoic acid and I'm reacting it with propanol. Now if you wanted to know how to name this, think back to the way that you name your salts. The acid always forms the last part. So I'm going to make methanoate. Now in this case, the propanol takes the form of the metal, even though it isn't, and turns into propyl. So you get propyl methanoate, and then your normal byproduct, which is water. So in terms of the structure for this, you'd end up with this. Obviously in an exam you'll try and get this all on one line, but I've run out of space here. So the name is propyl methanoate. So in terms of the naming for that, so the structure is HCO OC3H7 plus H2O. Now again, this bit comes at the front, and then the alcohol is the last bit there. Again, if you're not sure on that, come and ask me at any point. The next bit you need to know is, what is an ester used for? So if you think back to the practical that you guys did in lessons, then you should be able to remember the smell that was given off when you produced it. So one of the key things esters are used for is for perfume. They're also used as flavourings. So there are some products that smell or taste of apple, banana, rum, grape, pineapple and so on. Esters can be produced to smell like this, so that they can be put in there to give you that smell. The third and one of the biggest uses is polyesters. Now if you think back to year 10 on the work we did on polymers, that's lots and lots of alkenes joined together. This process is very, very similar to when we added an alcohol and a carboxylic acid together. Now if you were to have another alcohol group there and another carboxylic acid group there, you could keep adding these chains on to make a much, much larger polyester. Polyesters can be used to make plastic bottles, clothing, and warm clothing such as fleeces in particular. The other thing they can be used to do is make soap, and that's something that I'll come on to in the next video.